The Africa Cup of Nations have reached the final knockout stage, and the Fantastic Four team had a breathtaking performance on Wednesday's night. Welcome to another exciting episode of Sports Catalog. The semi-final fixtures on Wednesday are Nigeria vs South Africa, Ivory Coast vs Congo DR. Nigeria entered Wednesday's evening match with a perfect record against South Africa in the Premier African Football Competition, having won 3 previous meetings at the Africa Cup of Nations. The Super Eagles beat Bafana Bafana, the boys, 2-0 in a 2000 semi-final in Nigeria, 4-0 in a group match 4 years later in Tunisia, and 2-1 in a 2019 quarter-final in Egypt. Nigeria had lost 5 of their previous 6 AFCON semi-finals and had to overcome a very spirited South Africa to reach the final, with the game ultimately decided by penalty. Nigeria coach Jose Peseiro made one change to the team that beat Angola 1-0, bringing in Bright Osei Samuel for left-back Zaidu Sanusi, who did not train on the eve of the match. Nigeria dominated territory early on but struggled to pick holes in South Africa's well-organized rearguard. South Africa, meanwhile, targeted the space in behind the Nigeria defense, and that clarity of purpose helped them look the more dangerous side. Every time it feels like the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations has finally emptied the drama tank, there's been something left to thrill the fans. Then, on 85 minutes, they looked to have sealed the game, Victor Osimhen finishing a terrific counter. But VAR brought play back to the start of the move, finding that Alhassan Yusuf had fouled Percy Tau, and at the clock ticked over the 90-minute mark, Teboho Makona scored from the penalty spot. After Teboho Makona brought Bafana Bafana level with just minutes remaining. Then, in the final minute of added time, Kaliso Mudo had a wide-open opportunity to snatch a dramatic, last-gasp winner and put South Africa through. Instead, he skied the chance, and Nigeria survived by a whisker, the match heading to extra time. The penalty shootout was defined by Nigeria's dominance throughout, confirming why they are the top favorites to win AFCON 2023. Makona could not repeat the trick in the shootout, and while Ola Aina blasted his penalty over the bar, Evidence Makopa's miss handed the advantage back to the Super Eagles. Kelechi Iheanacho converted the winning penalty as Nigeria held their nerve for a 4-2 shootout win over South Africa to reach the AFCON final. 2 saves from Bobo Nwabali helped Nigeria beat South Africa 4-2 on penalties and reach the final of AFCON. They will now meet Ivory Coast or DR Congo in the final. Ivory Coast booked their place in Sunday's Africa Cup of Nations. The hosts, who lost 2 of their group stages and sacked their managed mid-tournament, grew into the encounter and were unlucky not to be ahead at the break after Haller fired wide with a header and Frank Kessie struck the post. Sebastian Haller sent hosts Ivory Coast into the Africa Cup of Nations final as they beat Congo DR 1-0 in Wednesday's semi-final. The Borussia Dortmund striker was making his first start after an ankle injury, and his goal had a touch of fortune about it as he miscued his shot, which bounced over Congolese goalkeeper Lionel Mpesai into the net. DR Congo were appearing in their first semi-final since 2015 and thought they had made the perfect start when Cedric Bakambu nodded in from close range, but the goal was chalked off for a foul on goalkeeper Yahia Fofana. In contrast, it was an agonizing defeat for DR Congo, who had been dreaming of a first appearance in an AFCON final since they were champions as Zaire in 1974. It has been a dramatic run since then too, with Ivory Coast beating defending AFCON champions Senegal in the last 16, before somehow edging past Mali in the quarter-finals. The Elephants went down to 10 men in the first half, forced extra time with a last-gasp equalizer, and Oumar Diakite then struck a winner in the 122nd minute. The 2-time champions are the first host country to reach the final of the Cup of Nations since Egypt in 2006, and the turnaround is absolutely remarkable for a team that was on the brink of elimination in the group stage. Is it destined that the Elephants' third AFCON title will come on home turf on Sunday evening? It remains to be seen, but the growth of the side as this tournament has developed has been quite incredible. A win and 2 defeats in the group stage left them staring down the barrel as the 5th best of 6 third-place teams, with only 4 qualifying alongside the top 2 in each pool. Nigeria are also looking forward to win 4th title also on Sunday evening final. Many did not predict Nigeria would get to this stage of Africa Cup of Nations due to their poor performance in friendlies and World Cup qualifiers. Sports Catalog will continue to update you as you share, subscribe, like and comment.